Hello, bonjour, namaste, ni hao, and ohio everybody. What is going on? It is Galeriot here. Welcome back to the YouTube channel once again for another Danmachi Memoria Freese video. And today we are going to be doing an update of the Danmachi Memoria Freese adventure and assist tier list featuring the new 6th anniversary part 1 units. Now, of course, if you guys go on to enjoy this video, please be sure to leave a like down below, subscribe to the channel for more Danmachi and Danmachi Memoria Freese content, and of course, leave a comment down below as well. Let me know where would you guys place the new units in your tier list. Would you guys put them in A, S, B, C, D? Let me know. I'm very curious to see what you guys have to say down below. Along with that, I would like to point out that I will be leaving an image to the tier list down below in the description. So if you guys want to check out the tier list for yourselves, and if you don't want to pause the video or anything of that sort, you can feel free to do so. Of course, I would urge you guys to actually watch the video to get an understanding of exactly why I've placed what unit basically, and the reasons behind me placing it in that tier, of course, right? So please be sure to watch the entirety of the video before you go and click the link, of course. The second thing I want to also point out is that I will be hosting a live stream probably in the next week or so, going over the tier list on live stream basically, and effectively we're going to go over each unit. If you guys have any units you want to adjust, we'll talk about it live, so make sure you guys tune in for that. That will be sometime next week, as I said. And yeah, finally, before we get in, I would like to also add on, this is the final thing, I promise. We're gonna start the tier listing in just a second. The final thing I would like to say is that this is still a very tentative list, especially when it comes to Eyes and Bet in particular, purely because right now, outside of PvE, in terms of PvP, the only places we could really test them out is Telskira Abyss, as well as trial war games, going up against friends who have already had preset teams. It's not an actual scenario, nor are we, using the new units against each other even. We don't know how one Eyes will fare up against another Eyes, or how Bet will fare up against another Bet, or how Bet will go up against Eyes and vice versa. So we're gonna have to wait and see when the war games season goes live next week. We should have a new war game season after Record Buster, so fingers crossed we get an opportunity to trial them out and see if we need to adjust them in any way, shape, or form. Now, I would like to also point out that this is probably the way they're gonna stick around. The tiers I'm gonna place them in, I think that's going to be their final tiers no matter what, even with some testing in the upcoming war game season. I think where we will be placing them today is where they will stick even later on. So of course, that's something for you guys to bear in mind. Now, we'll start off with the adventure tier list, and we'll start by placing the 3 adventures that we got in this part 1 celebration. First and foremost, we have Bet, Eyes, and then of course Riveria to go over. And I think we'll start off with Riveria actually, because we obviously did her showcase first. I'm very interested to see what people think she places, because for me, I think she's an A unit, to be quite honest. I think she's an A unit, to be quite honest, purely because of the way she's been designed, right? I mean, she is a PvE only unit. I mean, if you take a look at the S tier ranks, there are pretty much no units here that are singularly for PvE. These all are for like both PvP and PvE, sorry, I should say. So I can't really place her up there, but what I can do is place her in A alongside a unit that I think she's quite similar to, and that's this Wine. If you look at their kits, right, they're quite different. Like, realistically speaking, they're quite different. In fact, I would go as far as to say Wine is a little bit more offensive compared to Riveria, right? With obviously Wine being able to extend status buffs and debuffs, but she's also able to deal a lot of damage. A lot of her damage is also like on hit as well, whereas Riveria's is on additional attacks as well. So that's also something that's a big difference between the two. But if you look at Riveria's kit, right, her second and third skills are just no attacks. There are no attacks whatsoever. It's all reliant on debuffing the enemy, giving allies HP heal or MP heal, giving allies water attack damage, or extending the opponent's status buffs, or status debuffs I should say, and extending ally status buffs as well. So obviously Riveria is a lot more supportive there, but I do feel Wine is very similar in that regards as well. You see her second skill, it's very supportive. Her first skill, which is of course an attack with an additional action that does extend the opponent's status debuffs and the ally status buffs, you can see the similarities there. And then of course on special arts, while Wine can deal more damage on hit because of her special arts, she does give allies 120% strength, whereas Riveria on hit doesn't really give a buff or anything, but her additional actions give allies 44% SA gauge charge and 120% magic. So you can see the similarities there, and I think Riveria is very nice. However, I will say this right now, she's only got really one other good unit in her team, to be quite honest, and that's the 3rd anniversary Water Riveria that we got buffed recently. I feel like you could maybe argue that Hayden from the Valhalla Panic banner is also an option, but I feel like generally we don't have that many water magic options in the game that are effective right now. So what we do need in the next couple of parts of Danmachi's 6th anniversary, Danmemo's 6th anniversary I should say, is we probably need another water magic unit that can basically be paired with this Riveria and do extremely well in Wreck-It Buster and other forms of PvE stages. So that's something I will say that Riveria has going for her, is that she's already been set up really well. It's just that to get that extra push for her to be valuable, I think she needs a stronger sort of supporting unit in the form of a water magic unit, basically. All right, let's move over to the next unit, and let's go over to my most viewed showcase, actually. Eyes was my most viewed showcase, which was not surprising to say the least because of the title I put. And of course, if you guys remember the title that I put, if you haven't watched the videos, of course, if you haven't watched the showcases, you can go and check them out. They are on the channel already. I said that, you know, she needs a lot. What were they thinking as the title of the video? And in the video itself, I had very interesting opinions, which I'm going to reiterate here because I'm going to put her in A. Now, Eyes is good. Eyes is good, okay? That's the bare minimum I'll give her. She is good. You can argue that she is great even in PvE contents. But the problem is, right, she is good in PvP as well. And you can make her unbelievable. But in order to make her unbelievable, you need a lot. And that's what I meant by she needs a lot. You need to be a whale to have the right assists and right adventures to go alongside her. What she needs as well is a potential upcoming unit similar to Riveria. She needs another unit in the near future, in the next couple of parts, to come in and help her out on the same team. There needs to be a lot for this Eyes, because right now Honor 1s, it ain't great. It ain't looking too great, to be quite honest. And I think that's the biggest problem with this Eyes, is that it's just that she needs so much. Because on paper and in action, I mean, if you watch the video that I made, right, she is strong. She is powerful. Like, I was getting 22,000 damage points on an enemy in war games, which is insane. Honestly, it is really crazy that she can get that much power, and that's without any sort of MP or HP regen assist. Obviously she had the HP regen from herself, but that was the only damage boost she had. Her additional actions were powerful. Honestly, it was really powerful. But the problem is that in her endeavor to get to that attack, she's probably gonna die by then, unfortunately, which is a damn shame. But I think if you give her the right setup and you give her the right assists and everything, she will be a dominant unit. I would not be surprised if the top 50 in war games this coming week have her in the main team. Honestly, I really would not be surprised. But the problem is that that's the top 50 who are whales. More so than not, they are whales. So it's a lot more trickier for the average player to put her in a very strong team where she can operate to her maximum, right? At most, she'll probably operate to like a 50 to 60% operation percentage at most, to be quite honest, which makes her a bit of a fraud in those scenarios. So for me personally, I'll put her in A for now, but of course, with the events of the upcoming war games, along with potentially whatever we get in the upcoming parts, she could go up. I would not be surprised if she does go up, but right now, the position she's in, with what her kid is like and everything, I cannot put her more than A. I simply cannot put her more than A. So for me, I'm gonna keep her there and I'm gonna stick with it for now. Now, let's move on to the final adventure. Bet Loga, a unit that I touted as a mini Hero Festa, and I stand by it. He is a mini Hero Festa, basically. I'm gonna put him at the bottom. I've been putting Ice and Riveria at the top because I want them there, but because my S tier is kind of ordered, I'll put him in that position. But Bet is phenomenal. I don't know how else to say it. He is phenomenal. What a unit. He was so much fun to use in the showcase. I don't think I lost that many matches. I probably lost only like 1 or 2 matches at most. And the first match I lost is because I didn't have his setting right. I just simply did not have his setting right. And I was still coming to grasps as to how to use him and how to build his team. Of course, if you check out my showcases, a lot of it was just learning about the units and building teams for them. And of course, figuring out their, settings in PvP and war games specifically, right? So for me, Bete was just growing on me in leaps and bounds in that video to the point where I have to put him in S. He is phenomenal. He's the first non-Hero Festa unit to have a barrier on his kit, which, I mean, you could argue that that is a new mechanic, I suppose, that they're adding barriers to these non-Hero Festa units, but it isn't a new mechanic because we already got it with, obviously, Astraeus and Bell for the first time half a year ago, exactly. But yeah, no, I think, generally speaking, I'll place him here. Now, I can see the argument for Eyes and Alan being kind of similar to Bete, but I feel like Bete has just so much more going for him that I would probably do something like this, maybe? I'll probably do something like this, or maybe something like this. I don't know. But at the same time, I also do believe there is a very good chance that by next War Games, all 3 of these units might go down to A, to be quite honest. And the reason for that is because they can be very interrelated with what they're capable of doing, and because more of these types of units are running around, I could actually see a lot of people probably, running counters to these units, which could weaken them a little bit. But I still feel Bete is phenomenal. I was gonna say Bete is phenomenal. I genuinely do believe Bete is phenomenal, and I think that a lot of people will find him really accessible and a very easy unit to use to get to like King 1 for the first time, or King 2 for the first time, or even just King in general for the first time. Honestly, I really can see that happening, With this Bete, it is phenomenal. Okay, with that being said, that is my adventures. Bete in S, A for Riveria and Eyes, both. Now, let's move over to the assists. We have the free-to-play Lafia, and we have Loki. And now I want to start us off with the free-to-play Lafia, because I feel like a lot of people are chucking her under the radar because of the fact that she's a free-to-play unit. In fact, though, I will say this. She's the best free-to-play unit we have. Easily, hands down. Honest to God, unbelievable assist, frankly speaking. This is probably the best free-to-play assist we've had. I'm not even joking, because what she's capable of doing is minus 15% SR and magic, minus 15% MRes and PRes. Along with that, she's giving you a survival KO effect on the character she's on. I don't know if I'd put her on the heights of A, nor would I put her in B. So I'm going to chuck her at the bottom of B, basically. And you can think of her as a great free-to-play option that is just on above everybody else. Because almost every other free-to-play unit we've had in terms of assists in the last couple of months, like Alfrig and Lid, are all in the B tier. But I think Lafia is just a little bit higher, to the point where she can be used by lots of new players and a lot of starter players for a long time. I would say a long time for sure. Oh, thank you so much for the membership, Daddy Doggo. I was wondering where that noise came from. You guys couldn't hear it, but you guys could see it. Thank you so much for the membership, Daddy Doggo, in this video. You got a shout out there. Beautiful. And anyways, thank you all so much for becoming a member as well. Yami, I know, Boulder Crypto, Wyatt. There are so many people that I know who have become members of the channel, so big shout outs to them. Out of nowhere. It just came out of nowhere, basically, that membership. Thank you so much, though. Thank you so much. Now I want to talk a bit about Loki, but yes, I'm sorry, as I was saying about Lafia before I got distracted, we'll talk about Loki in a second. I just think she's such a great unit, to be quite honest. She does a lot for the team. She's very much usable. But I really wouldn't blame you guys if you wanted to put her in B. You know what? I'm gonna make a B.5 tier right now. I'm gonna just make a B.5 tier, because I don't know. I'm gonna put a B plus tier. B plus makes sense. I think she's in B plus. I don't know if I would want to put her in B tier, because I feel like she does so much. Minus 15% MRes, PRes, minus 15% SR and magic, and the survival KO effect. It's such a nice ability, so I think I'm gonna put her in B plus for now. Just a very accessible unit overall. Loki, I am going to place her with Astraea. Loki is a very interesting unit, to say the least, in the sense of She's one of the first null ×1 units for physical and magic that we've gotten in a while. And at the same time, she's also very interesting because the rest of her kit is very much more so tuned for PvE contents. 33% SA gate charge, 25% counter rate and god rate. It's quite oriented towards PvE contents. That being said, though, you can still use her in PvP. Of course, with the stall team, you can get her in for that counter rate, that god rate, the SA gate charge and everything. She's still very much usable for that sort of a team, but I feel like she's a little bit confusing in the sense of what she wants to do. Honestly, if they wanted to make Loki better and probably an S tier assist, they needed to give her null physical and magic ×2. Honestly, if she had gotten that, absolutely no doubt about it, top of S tier. Honestly, she would have easily gone to the top of S tier, no questions asked, not even a single question asked. But she's only null physical and magic ×1, and as a result, she has to stay in A tier alongside Estrella. She's around the same level as Estrella, I feel like. I know a lot of people will probably say, well, Estrella's additional abilities like the 30% HP regen and MP heal is a little bit better than Loki's abilities, but I feel like Loki can also be extremely useful. You can get your SA off for stall teams much faster. You can obviously get that god rate, counter rate going as well. It's, I think, a little bit better in that regards. That being said, though, I really wouldn't place one over the other, to be quite honest. But yeah, let me know what you guys think of the tier list down below in the comment section. Like I said, I'll be leaving a link to the images of this tier list in the description down below. Once again, thank you guys so much for watching this video. Please be sure to leave a like down below, subscribe to the channel, and I will see you guys next time. Take it easy, everybody. Bye bye.